Hi everyone, I want to talk about my BNY Mellon article, so if you don't mind, just pull it up on my LinkedIn page. Let's do our prayer first because all of these videos are online now. We're definitely concerned about black dark interference, so we're going to do a prayer to Saint Michael first. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. I haven't got it memorized yet, okay? Amen. So I just want to go through this article a little bit. You should be able to tell that the lines that I have in bold with the little tildes around them are basically his words, word for word, right? And he's using biblical phrases and asking me to kind of use the most powerful words that I can possibly muster. He says, you need to issue a whooping. You really need to lay into these people. He told me, he said, tell them everything. Tell them everything that's on your mind and I will stand by you. I agree with you on everything. If there's any issues, I will bring it to your attention, of course, okay? About BNY Mellon and TREASON and just about every single employee I've ever had, he said, this has to be an example, so lay it all out. Don't hold anything back. I want to say thank you again to the special person at BNY Mellon who actually did the right thing, who acted ethically. As far as I know, she's still employed. She's a little bit older, yes. She may be laid off due to her age, but she definitely outlived everybody who was unethical in this situation. Difficult people is not the same thing as people with no conscience. Okay, there's a very important comparison here, because every time I've talked to BNY Mellon, they're like, oh, how do you deal with difficult people? We have a lot of difficult. No, these are not difficult people. These are people without a conscience. Okay, so let's just make that clear. We have people avoiding work, okay? So I am pushing documentation standards all over the corporate world. Everyone who's come into contact with me recently has accepted these standards because I make sense, right? My, my terminology makes sense. The reason that you have people throwing people under the bus is because there isn't enough documentation. You have a lot of conspiratorial behaviors going on, okay? The truth always prevails. He agrees with that. When I talked about these conspiratorial cliques, he said, I hate cliques. He said, I hate secrets. I hate whispers. I hate whispers in the dark. Like he's a very strong deity, or whatever you want to call him, angelic presence. He has a lot of very strong words about everything. And anytime I'm kind of going through my article and I'm typing stuff in there, and he goes, the imagery that he was giving me when I was talking about genderless aliens and all this stuff, just this genderly confused person that was giving me a hard time at TREASON, he was giving me this imagery that he's standing with his sword like this, handle up, sharp edge down, and he's jamming it into the earth, and he's saying, this is my earth, this is my planet. Aliens don't have jurisdiction here. They don't have any right to do anything, right? So he's giving me that imagery. He's also giving me imagery from Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass, right? You remember that one? Because I didn't really understand some of the biblical phrases he was giving me. So he started giving me phrases like, these celebrities or whoever, people with a big head, these big companies, they might be fine, in this lifetime, they will, make money and have, like a nice house, an expensive car or whatever. But then they get to the gates of judgment and you shall not pass, right? That's what he's telling me. We have to rely on our own conscience, right? The term AI was started in corporate America because you have You have people higher up in the hierarchy, CEOs, managers, whatever you want to call them, vice presidents. They see a lot of layoffs happening, and they just want to, they're trying to cover things up. They don't want this to come back to them. Like, they want it to look like it wasn't their fault. So they're trying to say that this computing automation is creating, this job loss, and people are getting laid off because of that. And it's totally not true. It's a complete lie. That's not what's happening in the corporate world. There is a little bit of automation. Our economy is not doing well because Americans have crossed the line. Our economy is not doing well, so companies are downsizing, they're cutting salaries. It has absolutely nothing to do with AI, and I heard this directly from the Archangel, and he had permission from God to come talk to me about this and to tell you guys the truth, okay? All right, so I'm at 5 minutes, 6 minutes already, so I want to kind of cut this short. I just want to get you interested in actually reading the article. So again, Ancient Aliens. I love that show. I have watched it several times. It draws a lot of very important parallels and gives you a lot of evidence. But all of this evidence supports one thing. All the religions in the world believe in one God. They all believe in Archangel Michael. Even the religions in India, they believe in Archangel Michael. I believe they have 3 names for this specific archangel. He's the commander of the heavenly armies, because India is so vast, and we're talking about ancient people who couldn't call each other up on the phone and compare. They created 3 different names in 3 different regions. Okay, you're talking about 1.5 billion people, and this was like 3,000 years ago that they wrote these books. They couldn't compare and say, we're talking about the same being here, right? So that's about India. I'm going to do a deep dive into that later on, but right now I'm guessing I'm not going to be the only messenger. There's going to be other messengers coming out of the woodwork that are saying the same thing. We need to unify all religions. The time has come to do this, okay? You can follow your religious doctrine. You don't have to sway away from that at all. This is what you were given in this lifetime. This is the book that God gave you to read, right? You don't have to read, if you're a Muslim, you don't have to read the book in India, but you have to agree on some key points, and because you're worshiping the same God, okay? Everyone who does not answer the call will be in trouble, okay? So if you see me contacting you online, I'm sending you messages, I'm trying to convince you, blah, 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 stop using the term AI, I gave you lots of other terms to use. If you don't answer the call, if you block me, you're in trouble. You're not passing the gates of judgment, and this is a problem. I'm giving you a warning. I don't care. I don't want you to get hurt, but Archangel Michael will come after you, okay? Everyone who does not answer the call will lose their paycheck, and this will be read to you when you're at the gates of judgment too, okay? Because he just declared that I'm his messenger. He's talking about health and self-care, which was my grandfather's message when he brought tennis to the USSR to give the entire country hope. We also need to stop making excuses for obese people, okay? GLP-1 shots are available everywhere now, and they're very cheap. And obesity affects how your brain functions and creates more mental illness. So there's an issue with people not taking care of their health. And this is a global plague that Michael is trying to resolve also through me and possibly other messengers. I'm looking forward to other messengers coming to me so that we can work together. I have, like I said, spoken to several world leaders already. I am not afraid. He is here. He is standing by me. He's removing my guilt and fear so that I can talk to others. And I think that's enough. This video is 9 minutes. I'm just trying to get you interested in reading that article, and I will be posting more. So just let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to everybody. I don't care who you are. I will talk to everybody. I'm very serious about this. And like I said, if this was some kind of hoax, nobody out there is powerful enough to control life and death. Edward, the person who helped us a lot when my family first immigrated, it was a Russian couple from the Republic of Georgia, Edward and Galina. Edward was 85 years old, and he passed on November 5th. Nobody can control life and death. That is the number one sign that what is happening to me is real. Thank you.